Right folks, so what we're going to be doing today guys is a little bit on developments, okay, and this is actually going to push on from the last day when we did a little bit of a sketching exercise, okay. I'm aware that not all of us have our equipment at home, and for anyone who does, that's great, but if we don't, what we're going to start off with guys is we're going to start off by sketching developments, okay, before we actually start and progress on to when we're going to be able to use our equipment with them, the set squares, T-squares and so forth, and our compass. So first of all, just a little bit on developments. A lot of you might know them guys as the net of something, okay? So often we always think of maybe like a shoe box or a cereal box, okay? So what I want you to do guys, I want you to find maybe, sometimes if you, I wouldn't say go into a medicine cabinet, but if you can find maybe a small box or something, it could be a tea box or something like that. You can see here, I just took it something out of the medicine cabinet guys. It's a little box of Lemsip, cold and flu, okay? But essentially, what we're getting onto here is the net of objects, but in technical drawing terms, it's known as the developments, okay? And we know from the net, anytime you might have done this in maths, the net of an object is when you have a 3D object, and then what we do is we take it and we fold it out, and we want to see what it looks like on a flat piece of paper. So if I turn it over there, that's probably a better view of what that would look like, okay? So everything is kind of joins up together, and it comes back to make our 3D object, okay? And in maths, obviously, they'll go on to volumes and area, surface area, and things like that, okay? But for us, it's known as developments anyway, as I said. So first of all, what I want us to do as an exercise, guys, is I want us to sketch the orthographic views, the front elevation, the side elevation, and the plan as we would see it, okay? So let's say the front elevation is this, okay? So when we're looking at the front elevation there, we can see that that shape there makes a rectangle, okay? And let's imagine it was kind of like this, and we're looking in from this direction, so the arrow is pointing from right to left, so it's going to go on the left hand side of our page. So I want to sketch a rectangle of the Lemsip box there, that's going to go on the left hand side of my page, okay? So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do this now using HB guys, so as neatly as I can, and using the techniques that we practiced in the sketching lesson. I'm going to sketch an XY line, okay, so remember I'm not moving my wrists, I'm going to try and move with my elbow to get a horizontal line. Okay, so there is my XY line, okay, as you can see it. And now what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to sketch a rectangle, okay, so I'm going to do this a little bit lighter, and I'm going to rotate the page, and I want to sketch a rectangle of the elevation. So there's about the height of it, might make it a little bit smaller, and obviously it's not as long as it is high, so about that height, quite happy with that. And there we go. Just going to go over that now, a little bit heavier. And that there will be my elevation view. Okay, this is my XY line. Hope you can see that a little bit, the light is a bit bright there, but there is my XY line. Okay, and that there is my elevation view. So I'm just going to write it above it. Elevation. Okay, it is the front view of that Lemsip box. Obviously, it's kind of a scaled down version if you get the idea, okay? Also then we would have a side view of the elevation, okay, or sorry, a side view of the box. So if that was the front view, the side view would be like that, okay. So when we're looking in from this direction over here, okay, that's what we're going to see. We're going to see another rectangle, and that is going to share the same height as it, okay. So I could transfer over the height, okay. I'm going to keep a little distance. We always keep a good distance of 10 to 15 is usually what we say in class, and then from there, now I'm rotating the sheet just because I find it easier to sketch this way, and I'm going to say that's the width of it there. And there we go. Once again, I'm going to sketch that in, and this view here will be known as our end elevation, okay. And for end elevation, I'm just going to put in E dot E, okay. Now at this point then, the last view that we would actually have is our plan view. So when we're looking down on top of it, that's what we'd see, okay? And the plan view always goes directly underneath the elevation. So at this point here then, I would transfer my length down, because that's the length of it. And then usually what we have here is an angle there of 45 degrees. So I'll do my best to get an angle there that I think is roughly 45 degrees. Okay, put it in a little bit heavier there so you can kind of see it. And this distance would come down, because that's the widths, the 45 degrees is just there to help us to transfer widths down so we can bring them across into our plan. And here we go. And there we go. That is our plan view there. So once again, just heavying that in. So as we can see, guys, it is quite easy to do an orthographic projection, well, depending on the complexity of it, of the object. But this object, little box, is quite easy to do, and that is our plan view right there. Okay? In development, you're often going to have to draw the elevation and the plan, okay? Because if you have two views, technically you have 3 of the overall measurements, alright? And just to talk you through that there, I'm just going to use a ruler just for this part, okay? And I'm going to use a biro, alright? I'm going to use a red, just to show you there. So we have the height from here to here, okay? The height is from there to there. That's our height. Okay, so I'll put a H there. We have our width. I'll actually put the width over here. From there to there. That's our width. Or what could be otherwise known as our depth. Okay. And then also we have a length. From here to here. Okay, just on that, there's our length. So height, width, length. Okay, very, very important. Now technically on our plan view we didn't have a height, but we did have the length, and we also had the width here as well. Okay, so once you have two views, you can kind of work out the overall dimensions of what you're going to need. Now in a development, what we actually have to do is we have to draw out what we think would be the development of this box, okay, when it is folded out flat on paper. Okay, so as we can see, first of all, I'm going to label, or I'm going to number how many sides I have. So I can see here I have a front, obviously I've got a back, then I've got a side, then I've got another side, and then I've got a top, and then I've got a bottom. So I've actually got 6, front, back, 2 sides, and a top and a bottom. Okay, now I know, obviously you all know, in reality with these bits there's usually little kind of bits that are kind of flaps here that literally go down here, and then they fold inside to kind of hold it all together. And you can see here, obviously cut it here. Okay, but that is just for demonstration purposes. Okay, when we are doing developments, you're not going to have to draw like the bits that are going down inside and so forth. Okay, it's literally just as we see the box there, or the shape as is. Okay, so you don't have to worry about, obviously there's little tabs here that usually open and close as well to obviously make everything tight together and hold everything on the inside. Okay, so what we actually have to do is we have to basically get the true shapes of all these surfaces here. So what we can actually notice is, have I got the true shape drawn of my front face here? Yes, I do. That true shape actually will be my elevation. And if I have the front face, the back face is going to be the exact same dimensions as well. So I've actually got the front and the back here. That's my elevation. Have I got the true shape of the side? Okay, and yes I do. That is my end elevation, and that works for the left side and the right side. Okay, now have I got the top and the bottom? And yes I do. That was my plan, which was here. That's the top, and then obviously the bottom is going to be the exact same shape. So technically I have 2 of these, so I'm going to put 2 there. I've got 2 of these and 2 of these, so I have 6 altogether, and they all have to connect together to roughly make that shape there. And once again I'll turn it around so you can see it like that. Now a development doesn't matter. Technically I could take this front face here, and the front could actually connect down here as well, because a box can open many ways. I just happen to cut it along that seam there, as you can see where these are meant to join. I could have actually cut it here at the top instead. Okay, so when we're doing the development, an area I'm actually going to start with, you can see I've them labelled here. I'm going to start with the back, and I'm going to connect the top, the side, the bottom. Okay, it wouldn't make sense to have the back connected onto the front, because it doesn't connect to the front. It connects to the front via one of the sides. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is, usually with a development, we can take our dimensions straight from our XY line. Okay, so I'm going to transfer those over in this direction here. Okay, once again, focus on moving my elbow. You can see them going across the page there. And then take the height over as well. Okay, there we go. So I've got the height there. Now what I'm actually going to do at this point, I'm just going to zoom in there so you can see it a little bit better. Okay, so I've kind of transferred over my overall height. Okay, now at this point I want to take my length. So what I could do here is, using a little bit of sketching technique again, mark my length there, and I'm going to pinch it where the line starts. Okay, that's my length there, and make a little mark. I'm going to start it here, and then I will mark it back. You can see where my finger is. You can see where my fingers are ending here, so I'm going to try and mark that roughly where I think it was. It was about there, so I'm quite happy with that. And then from there, do a sketch upwards, and there we go. So technically what I've actually drawn in there now is that back face. Okay, I'm starting with the back. It could be the front, but I'm going to just say it's the back face. So there's the back. Okay, and now what is connecting to the back is one of the sides. Okay, and we can see the sides are here. So once again, I could take roughly, I can see there, it's actually about the head of a pencil wide. Okay, so just mark out that there. I can see where that is. So it's about to here. And it's the exact same with the opposite side, because the side will connect on here and over here. You have to kind of visualize it and how it will go in your head. Okay, there's another one there, and once again they are going to go up. Okay, so there's one of my sides, so I'm going to say side, and I'll say that's side 1, and then I'll call this one side 2. You don't have to label them, it's just helping. Okay, now at this point we've actually 3 of them done. With the back, with the 2 sides done. Okay, so now we'll actually work on to the top and the bottom. Okay, so it's this shape here. Right, so for the sake of this drawing, I'm actually going to switch it up from this one. Okay, because you can see how that one is going. Okay, technically I could put the top up here, and I could put the bottom down here, like you can see it there. Okay, top, bottom, depending on how I flip it. Okay, it's probably like this one, top and bottom. Okay, but I'm going to switch it up this time. This time I'm going to keep the bottom where it is. Okay, so I'm going to take that distance there, and in this case it's just a little bit wider than the pencil head. Okay, so it's a little bit wider than the pencil head, which starts there, so it's a little bit wider than that. So I'm going to transfer distance down, so we know it's coming down a little bit further, and I know it's coming down a bit further. These are construction lines, so that distance, it was a little bit wider. Well, it actually, why I say it's a little bit wider, it shouldn't be wider. What am I saying? I apologize. It should be the same distance as that, because these actually should match up, so it should be that distance wide right there, so it's the same distance. That distance there should be the same as this distance here. Okay, and the exact same on the opposite side. Sorry for that, confusing myself. Okay, so there we go, that's the bottom. And now, okay, when I went back to this one, that was our development. The front was connected on over here. This time I'm going to switch it up, okay, just to show you that developments can be done different ways. The bottom will connect also to the front, okay, in this case. So it's easy for me to, I could actually connect the front down here. So I'm going to extend that down. Okay, I'm going to extend this down as well. And it's the same height. Don't take that. I'm going to pinch it. I'm going to see where it is roughly. Yeah, I'm happy with that there. And I'm going to transfer that across. So there's our front. Okay, just to show you that you can do developments many ways. Okay, you can alter the kind of surface areas around. And now we have one last one, okay, which is the top. Okay, we have the bottom done. Because I've ran out of space up here, and obviously my title has kind of gone in the way, the top is the same shape as the bottom. The top could actually connect onto the front, and we can see that this could all just like fold over itself, okay, to make itself work around. So that distance again, I roughly guess that it's about there down, and there we go, that's our top. Okay, so there's our top, and now what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to heavy in the outline, okay, as best I can. So just going to speed up the video there. Okay, so as you can see there now, guys, we've actually kind of got the actual development of the object done, the Lemsip box, okay. I suppose it kind of looks something like that now, okay, but this one was done a little bit differently, but it's the same idea. But what we have inside here, guys, you can see these lines inside here. These technically, right, these lines here technically are the fold lines, because everything you have to remember is connected still, okay. And fold lines are shown in developments by doing dotted lines like this, hatched lines there. So I need to go over all of those fold lines, okay, and hatch them. So can see there, everything folds back together, and there, and one more side, this one as well. Okay, there are numerous ways, as I said, that you can open out a surface or a box or whatever it is that you're developing. Okay, that was just a simple example, okay, of a Lemsip box that I got out of my cupboard at home. Okay, so what I want you to do, guys, for homework is I want you to pick something, pick something square, nothing circular yet, okay, something square, okay, that's like a box. It doesn't have to be the exact same shape as this, okay, it can be something different. It could be a box of tea bags, it could be I don't know, something else, that anything that a box comes in. It could be a shoe box, something like that, but obviously it's going to be scaled down so it fits on the page. Okay, but what I want you to do, guys, for homework is I want you to do the elevation views of it, or the orthographic views of it, okay, and then I want you to develop out that box, okay, in whatever way you see fit. Absolutely fine. Okay, and then I also want you to submit whatever it is you're developing, okay, a picture of that with it. Okay, I hope you understand that, guys, and once again I hope you found that helpful. This is a sketching exercise on developments, so best of luck with that, guys. Okay.